was finishing up some arrows here. These are the new Easton 5.0s. Fletching them up in AAE max stilts. And I got to the last one and thought, why not make a video on it? And I'm using this Helix tower fletching jig. Used it for quite a while. It's really good, really fast, easy to fix. Easy to fix fletchings when you shoot them off. You can just replace one at a time instead of having to do all of them. I've done them with the Bitzenberger. I've done them with the Last Chance Archery, Baymaster Pro, and so far nothing compares to this. Especially if you're trying to get just a good consistent helical on them. I like to run a 3-degree left on these. They've been shooting really good, tuned out of the bow really well. Shooting a lift 33. These are 300 spine. Cut them down to about 26 and a half, 26 3/4 inches. Shooting around 81 pounds out of the bow. So again, Helix tower fletching jig. You can buy all these different arms. They tell you right on the box which ones which comes with it, and you can buy different ones. But really nice jig, really fast. Like I said, I can do a dozen arrows in probably less than 30 minutes with this if I'm just running. So first thing, make sure you got the shaft really clean. I just use 91% alcohol. You can use acetone, whatever you like. Alcohol is probably the cheapest and works fine. So we'll put that there. The cool thing about this is I'm a big fan of getting my labels in line with my cock vane. I run all three the same color now. They just look better in flight, and it gets me away from a lot of times, especially if I'm using these whites. I don't have to run lighted nocks on it, which I just don't like to do, especially at 80 pounds. I was having a problem with them just staying together, and it was like I was getting a few shots out of them, 10, 20 shots, and I was having to change nocks, and that gets expensive. And so this looks really good. You can see it really well. Unless you're shooting in the snow, you might want to go with a different color. But I think it's really important when you get all three of them the same color. You need some point of reference, so in the heat of the moment when you're throwing them on, you can get it on the bow quick. So I line up my Easton logo with my top vane and my nock. So that's what we'll do here. I usually have this one marked, and I'm just lining up that as close as I can get it to the logo. Okay. Like I said, these are a 3-degree left. My arrows are clocking left out of the bow. I do use the Maxwell primer pin for these max stelts, and I just run. This is Pine Ridge Archery. You can use their AAE glue if you like. This I've been using for years. It works great. So the way you do this is just take your vane and you load it into each arm. It's very similar to an Arizona Easy Fletch, but I think you just get a few more options with this because you can change it around how you want to do it. If you want to run right, it'll run 1 degree right, 1 degree left, 3-degree left, 3-degree right, of course straight, and then they have different arms and everything for crossbows and things of that nature. So just slide them in there, get them all set. You want them as low as possible. I'm not one of these guys. I've seen a lot of, which I think is a mistake. I see a lot of guys run their arrows, and they start their vanes way down here and leave this whole thing's open. I like mine basically where the setting is, about a thumb's width from the back of the shaft. Looks really good, flies really good. Alright, so we've got that in there. And I'll show you just how fast this is. I mean, if I'm just run the pin down it, just make sure you don't need to flood this thing. You just need a good, as long as that tip's wet on it, it'll work fine. And now I go top to bottom because I don't want to push that fletching back up. Get this ready. And what I do after this, I close this up, and then you can see right here how far down that vein is. You just want to make sure you have the same gaps and virtually no gap. So those are all set right. And then we're ready for glue. Spin this around. Now, like I said, I think every video I've ever watched says it. Do not use too much glue. Less is definitely more. You just get a little bit of a bead down each of the valleys. And then I just run my fingertip down it, and I go top to bottom, like I said. Wipe it on a paper towel, top to bottom, top to bottom. Make sure that logo again is lined up where you want it. That's good. So we're going to close this, run this tool over the top of it. That clamps down, and then you hold this down. You have a lever over here. Close that. Push that down, not crazy hard, but hard enough till it stops. And then 20 seconds, 30 seconds, that's all you really need. Like I said, I really like these Easton 5.0s a lot. I'm glad Easton finally came out with a 5mm shaft that you could do something with. The Axis and the FMJs are really good, but just a little on the heavy side for me. I run them around 420. And like I said, with a 28.5 inch draw, 80 pounds out of that lift 33. I mean, these are cooking. They're 300 feet per second, 302, somewhere around in there, and that's with the 55 grain. These will be the number 2 55 grain match head and collar. Assuming that's what they call it, insert outsert. There you go. So I get plenty of weight up front, 100 grain tips, and they kill everything. I'm coming from the Hex 6mm, and it shot great. It killed a lot of stuff with it. All pass-throughs, all around the same weight as this. 420. I think those came in 425, 430, somewhere around in there. But out of an 80-pound bow, if you can handle it, and that's key. If you can handle it, it'll go through anything. All right, let's see what we got here. It's been long enough. We'll slide this off, and then hold the arrow, peel these off one at a time. And like I said, this is much faster if you get you rolling. And there you go. I just come in here and like I said, I take my finger. I don't really care, and clean anything off. You can use a Q-tip if you like, but you sometimes end up getting cotton stuck on the glue if it dries too fast, and then it just looks ugly. Another thing, before I see a lot of times where people, there's nothing wrong with running a wrap on your arrow. You can do that. Just keep in mind it does add weight to the back, and it's significant. I mean, it's probably 10 grains on the back of your arrow. And I don't like the fact that every time, if I'm shooting groups with these, you go out and shoot one off. Well, now you're replacing 3 because that wrap's going to tear and peel off, and then you got to replace a wrap and 3 fletchings or 4 fletchings, whatever you're shooting. Where this one, what's really nice too, if you have that, you just strip one off. You put this back in here. That's what's really nice about this, and you close these up on these 2. Close them up. If that's the one you're replacing, you put a new one in there. Close it up. It'll just replace that one, and they're all in the right spot again. So really great tool. I really like this. And thank you for watching.